Assassination Classroom Episode 2. This is how he spends his time, just reading a newspaper in the forest. KY Times. Yeah, America mentioned. Must have been recent then, otherwise America would have moved on. He's an American fan too. None of these plans really make that much sense though. If you can't kill him with a BB gun, how are you gonna kill him with a baseball? Was it? I mean, it would have been better just to shoot him from that angle. Your foot does, and like all the talking you did in the forest. I got it. I kind of hope you can't. I kind of hope you can and then choose not to. You were stupid for thinking that it would. You suck, Sugino. Nah, he's trying. He's actually working on it on his off time. I just realized that the cast is singing the intro. It's a cool touch. Every day is a school festival. Now I'm actually paying attention to the lyrics of the opening. I think it's going to be key. Oh, is this going to be the baseball episode? There's always a baseball episode. Just getting it out of the way. Yeah, that's old news. America has already moved on. I'll bet there's going to be a whole bunch of underhanded stuff that comes out of the government too. For now, we're all aligned, but we may not always be aligned. It was failed to begin with. He had way too much writing on that baseball plan. I would never cheat in this guy's classroom. Can you take the high performing students? It's not fair, you get to do all this stuff. He continuously goes to America. We did go to China that one time. Yeah, none of us got mapo tofu last time. Pizza! It's the only answer! In New York? Nah, I don't know. Pizza, bagels, a bodega sandwich. Yeah, a bodega bacon, egg, and cheese. These are the things you miss as a New Yorker living abroad. Maybe he can bring back a Subway rat. Now with that attitude, didn't you listen to the opening? Because he's letting you have it. Oh, is he in the Bronx? Is that his human disguise? It's not convincing. It's also a little bit unfair to have the kids be responsible for this. I know the teacher made them responsible for it, but it can't be your only avenue. You kids do what we can't. There's something unsatisfying about that. I don't think he is. Yeah, why these kids? Why here? Why Japan? He noticed. I feel like I could dodge his baseball not moving Mach 20. Not while I'm reading a newspaper in the forest, though. It's time for the social links, where we get into their tragic backstories. What? That's not nice. That's not right. Oh. I agree. That's the kind of teaching I don't like. Yeah, he just got totally shaken out of his passion. I want to hear the advice. Don't, like, kill him now. Let him finish. What kind of advice is this? Oh yeah, he just went to see baseball. He's a fan. He knows the culture. All cultures, it seems. Okay, I really like where this is going so far. This is the kind of advice people don't like, but I think is actually great. If then it's followed with either, here's how you can fix the problem so that you can develop that thing you're trying to imitate and do it correctly, or here's something else to think about that would improve your game. So it's not like you just suck and are doomed. More like this thing you're doing is not working, so it's not productive. It's just a starting point that you can tweak. That will sort out who the person is immediately. If they actually care about the progress and getting good at the thing, they will love it. And if they are attached to an image of already being great when they're not, they will hate it. The real differentiation often being how much someone can stomach pain and keep going. Actually, I feel like given what I've seen from this student character so far and knowing what I come across in real life, this conversation would actually lead to first anger and then a doubling down on whatever they're doing wrong, or maybe just giving up on baseball entirely. Can you take it? Can you take the heat? We'll let him finish first. No, dude. They're just carrying around their own baggage. They're seeing their own fears everywhere else. He never said that, and I don't think he would say that. He said you can't do what the other person does. Right, yeah, he was there. Oh, he like literally picked him up. He felt his posture. That's also not at all what he said, but that's such a common reading. There it is. Yeah, that's the other element of it. And baseball and everything. Nothing comes from denying reality. Because reality won't budge. Things are the way they are. That includes your body to a large extent. I think there's a period of learning something like this where you have heroes, where emulation is really useful and really important because it's a starting step and it gets you into the thing and you want to be like your hero. But then there's often a point where you have to step out of that because you're not the person you're emulating and you don't have the natural capabilities or positioning that they have. I mean, a lot of times we copy the people who are most successful, but their landscape when they started didn't have them in it. They likely added their own spin to something, so they created that particular version of it. So now people have that version to watch and enjoy. It's been done and is done better by that person for longer. I think it can be a really nice thing, a really beautiful thing to emulate someone that you admire, but it's still you, and the most magical thing that can happen is you like standing on the shoulders of people who came before you and like doing your thing with it. Only you can do that. The second is that even though saying this is going to sound so simple, this is not how I see it approached or practiced. And that's people think they either have the skill or don't have the skill. So someone will try something and they'll fail at it and they'll think, oh, I just don't have the ability or I'm not cut out for this. But that's completely the wrong way to look at it. Like, of course you aren't good at it because you just started doing it. Why carry the identity of it? It's not an identity, it's a skill. The problem is often that if our inspiration comes from this, from watching others, then all we ever watch, all we ever see are people who are doing things at a very high successful level. And so that incomplete picture gives us the message that it's all talent or all natural ability. When the people we're watching are so good at it and do so effortlessly, likely to put in a tremendous amount of sweat, blood, and tears and pain and time in order to get to the level where it looks effortless. That's a very classic mistake. This goes in the category of things that people actively do to throw out their own ability to do good things. You're just undermining yourself. What, you thought you were going to do this one time and be as good as the greatest person to ever do it? That thinking is the problem, not your ability. I mean, he also seems to be a big fan of baseball. It can be both. It's not very far for him, though. Yeah, a little weird, right? Don't you think? I just realized his mouth doesn't move when he talks. Just, how is he communicating? Might not even be words. I really want to see where that idea goes. And why are we learning English? Maybe America is the real enemy. It's undermining his taste in food. He also did eat that coconut whole. Though I disagree, coconut is just for the drinking. It's good that he was able to turn that around. This is beyond just physical speed, this is mental speed. He even made a picture on the C- paper, it's sweet. This is how you spend your time? Penguin treading in the forest? You must know better, or he doesn't need to fear. He did know. Also, master of psychology. And he put it in their hands. And now they are the flowers that you are holding. So So this is what they're for then. What else are they for? It's a little bit beholden to the students and their emotions. I don't think Aizawa would plant flowers. I think Aizawa would be like, flowers won't save you on the battlefield. If you care about flowers more than training, I'm ready to fail you right now. Stop planting flowers to get to work. You're soft. You're all soft. That's another thing you see in teaching, speaking of all the million, billion pitfalls that there are in education. There's the teacher that cares too much about the student's opinion of him or her, who really, really just wants to be their friend. Not that there's anything wrong with having a good relationship with the students, but that can't be your top priority. That is great when it happens naturally as an occurrence from having a good classroom. They're not your peers. They're not your friends. You have a job to do.
何メモ取ってんの？先生の弱点を書き留めておこうと思ってさ。
Emotional manipulation.
くぬぎが丘中学校3の E は暗殺教室。そして僕ら以外は名だたる進学校。
Ooh, we hate them. We're different from them.
教員免許は持ってますので、ご安心を。ご自由に。
Who is this shady character?
こんな秘密を知ってるのは我々国とここの理事長。So I
guess the kids' parents know nothing and we're not informed. Their opinion means nothing to me. What does this remind me of? Oh, it reminds me of March comes in like a lion with the shogi moves. That's one way to get a good sample set. Pitting them against each other. Only if you... Well, I mean, the no sports clubs and accommodations are not great, but the opinions of the other kids, I mean, whatever. Why are you jumping? He's also not contained by the ropes. I mean, his literal life is on the line. This is my kind of teaching. You idiots, you can never hope to compare to the great one. They broke a sweat. Isn't it a little weird? I mean, like, you grow attached to him, you don't want him to die. Yeah, that too. I'm gonna read it as positively as I can and just think that, one, they're not fully thinking that through, and two, they don't actually think it's possible. It hasn't set in that it's possible. Though a lot of them probably just wouldn't care and would rather have the money, at least at this point. Their expressions are the least weird part of this whole thing, but okay. Oh, this is the Battle Royale Kiriyama of Assassination Classroom, the one who just wants to kill. I wonder why he has behavioral problems. He's gonna be a little bit of a wild card, huh? Yeah, teachers, you know, they can be annoying. He talks a big game now. I bet he's gonna be the first one jumping off the roof into a cresta. He's probably even more broken than Baseball Kid, who, by the way, took that in such stride. I love to see it. I love to see people who take honest criticism. Your identity is not at stake because you're not whole yet and you're not perfect yet. And even though you want the result very badly and that's the drive, you probably don't want it to be easy. You want to have the adventure with it. Silly example, just to make the point. How good do you feel dunking in one of those kids hoops over a 4-year-old? You know, like, it just doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, you really dunked on that kid. You are way better than a 4-year-old. Here is one that everyone wins by default. You are the best at being you. That makes you happy, right? Feels good to be the best at doing something only you can do. Of course, that does absolutely nothing because the meaning of the thing often is somewhat wrapped up in the challenge of the thing. Even if it's something peripheral to the thing itself, like let's say you want to be a famous baseball player for the attention in women. That'd be cool, but it doesn't really go that far, at least for long, beyond what you feel you deserve. If it goes beyond that point, where you're getting rewards or praise for something you yourself feel you haven't earned, it starts to feel empty and soulless and depressing. You see a lot of celebrities just adored by everyone and people hungry for their bodies, and they end up addicted to alcohol and drugs to escape the pain. You want the rewards to be largely correlated with what you feel you're contributing. I think one of the more important things to look at in the trials, in the initial attempts at a thing, is not how well you did at your first attempt, but how much you enjoyed the attempting. If the attempting of it was fun enough, then it means it's maybe something you could keep doing enjoyably long enough to actually get somewhere with it. And if someone telling you suck at a thing when you've just started it derails you, then either you don't really like the process that much in the first place, or you're just making it way too much about your identity, which it's not. That's also just a mess because it ends up being something you feel you have to defend. It's something you have to protect, but the reality just is what it is. It doesn't matter what the image is of it. It doesn't matter what you're telling yourself about the thing, and it doesn't matter what other people think about you of the thing. Only the thing itself is important. Why spend all that energy trying to mitigate the definition of goodness in the thing, or to delude yourself into thinking you're already the best at the thing just by changing the definition of what best means? It ends up being a lot of work to avoid work.